Good evening and welcome to Jim Munley's World Weather. You clicked on to Long Range Weather Forecast discussion for November 18th to 30th. We're looking at the NAO index, which is positive, but then goes negative, and by day 7 it remains negative through day 14, which you can't see is cut off down here. The AO index is also positive, and then goes negative by day 10 and remains negative through day 14. Okay, now we're going to look at the PNA. It's negative and remains slightly positive to negative through day 14. And what that is indicating is that there's no blocking in the east or across the North Atlantic, because the PNA has to be positive, but the blocking, since it's is in the west, since it's negative, and that's why we're having all these changes from cold to warm to cold. That no one air mass stays in place for too long, as the weather pattern keeps moving, keeps changing. Okay, the models in this tablet depict a strong cyclone to lift northeast into Canada and swing a cold front through the eastern states. The cold again would be short-lived, as the flow becomes more zonal for a brief time. So I'm going to look now at the models, and we're going to look at the Canadian. This is the Canadian models as this loads. Okay, and we're going to go forward. See, here's a trough here. This is right before the period starts. This is on the 17th. And we can see like this trough slowly slides eastward. And the trough swings east. Now, the other model that we're going to look at and this is the NAFS, and it starts off with kind of like a zone of flow, where a southerly flow here pumping warmer air. This too shows the trough swinging eastward. The cold again would be short-lived, as the flow becomes more zonal for a brief time. Therefore, the pattern keeps changing, and the pattern is forecast to evolve towards an eventual ridge off the west coast, a trough over the west central states. The west will be unsettled at first, with precipitation across the Rockies. Some of the precipitation, the heaviest will be over the highest terrain. Temperatures in the west are expected to be near to above normal. Most areas of the east will be cooler and drier before the upper trough in over eastern North America lifts out. Okay, now we're going to look at the period for November 21st to 25th. And the storm is forecast to trough to stretch from Alaska into the North Pacific, a ridge along the west coast, and a broad trough over eastern North America. The Canadian and the European depict a split in the flow and has a trough in the east. So we're going to go forward now and look at the other model. Like I said, the Canadian we're going to look at here. Okay, we're going to go forward to the 21st. There goes our trough lifting out at the end of the first period. And then the flow goes zonal. And here comes our beginning of our split flow developing out here. This is on the 21st. And this is 22nd, and begins to split the flow. Now the European, again, this is the 17th, 18th. Here comes our split flow starting to develop. And the flow starts splitting right around here. This is the 22nd. And we still have our trough here over the northeast, and that's the 24th. So during this forecast period, I am forecasting above normal temperatures for this region and below normal temperatures from the Mississippi Valley to the Atlantic coast for precipitation. Below normal precipitation here, above normal precipitation for the southeast. Now we're going to look at the period for November 26th to 30th, and there's not much change as it stumbles. Hold on to this pattern with no change in sight at this moment. So for this forecast period, there's little change in temperature anomalies, but in the precipitation anomalies, we're expecting below normal precipitation here, above normal precipitation across this region and across the southeast. So that is a long-range weather forecast discussion for November 18th to 30th. Thanks for coming to Monday's World Weather, and have a good day.